Have you ever been in a dry place? Couldn't show it on your face, and you cry inside. Lord, tell me why that relationship not broken. So many hurts unspoken, and you die inside. Lord, tell me why night after night you pray. Still nothing seems to ever change. Remember, God's word is true. He knows the plans He has for you. By faith, this is what you must do. Just speak life to it. Just speak life through it. Knowing God's not a man, and He should not.
Hello everyone! It is World Mental Health Awareness Day once again, and the theme for this year is Mental Health for All. This year has been a tough one for all of us during the months of lockdown and the losses of our loved ones. Even us children have been having a difficult time during our schoolwork, not being taught by our teachers and not seeing our friends. And this has had a huge impact on us. Today, we are fortunate to have our dear Auntie, Dr. Patricia Nkansah Asamoah, a public health physician, to tell us what mental health is and how it can affect us children.
Hello everyone. We celebrate World Mental Health Day so we can raise awareness about mental health issues and find a way of contributing or supporting people who are living with mental health illness. So that's why the 10th of October is designated as the World Mental Health Day. Mental health is a state of well-being where an individual recognizes their own abilities and how they are able to cope with everyday stresses. So when we are talking about mental health, it's quite difficult when we don't appreciate health and we look at physical health. The physical health is very obvious. Either you have pain or you are ill or you can't do something. But when it comes to mental health, it's sometimes a bit difficult for us to be able to say that this is what it is. But then it has two components, and it is the way you are able to assess your own abilities, to be able to say that this is what I'm capable of doing, or this is what I can't do. And then once you have your own capabilities, then the way you are able to cope with the everyday stresses of life. Are you able to cope with your homework? Are you able to cope with living with your siblings at home? So mental health asks or focuses on two questions. How are you feeling? And how are you coping? So basically these two questions, anytime you are answering these questions, it means you are trying to find out what the mental health or the state of the well-being of a child or an adult is at a time. Actually, mental health affects everybody. Children have mental health issues as well as adults. 1 in 10 children have mental health issues, and it affects children of all ages. Usually you would be able to tell that a child has mental health issues as they are developing, and so they will have developmental challenges. Usually when a child is born, it is very difficult, but as they are growing older and they are developing, you find out that there are things that they are not able to do where other children can do, so that is how you are able to do it. So there's so many mental illnesses for children. Autism, post-traumatic stress disorders, anxieties in children, depression. There are quite a number of them. So mental health affects everybody, and it affects us children too.
Thank you, Doctor. But now we want to know more. So why is mental health so important for us this year? And what can we do as children to help us improve our mental health?
Discussing mental health issues this year is so important. we've lived in unprecedented times. The uncertainty for the year 2020 has never happened before, where there's been global pandemic, lockdown for the whole of the world, and things that we've never had to experience before. And so in these uncertain times, people who have mental ill health have really suffered. Almost 80% of persons who've had mental health illness have said that over this lockdown period, they've had severe. So if someone was like mildly depressed, by the end of the lockdown, they were like severely depressed. If they were anxious, they've been even more anxious. And so it is important we discuss these things and talk about them so that when we have to support people with mental illness, we kind of know exactly what is in their space, and then we can offer the little bit of support that we have. So it's very important for us to understand that most people have not been able to cope. Some people have lost their job, some parents have lost their job, and it's had effects on children. So if your parents have lost their job and do not have enough money to provide you with what they usually provided you with, you're going to be stressed as a child. You are going to probably be anxious, and because you don't understand, why can't I go out to see my friends? Even though your parents may explain it to you, you believe that no, there must be some way that could happen. So anxiety, children have gone through such a very difficult and trying time. So it's important we discuss this thing this year for us to understand that it hasn't been easy coping. And then people even who had even a few abilities, like they could easily manage some of their illnesses, it hasn't been easy for them. So for us this year, it has been very crucial discussing mental health. For our own mental health, what are children supposed to do? Sometimes children are not aware that they may be experiencing moments of anxiety or depression because they don't understand. But sometimes for children, there are things like they can't sleep. So because they are worried about something, they find it very difficult to sleep. Sometimes they are unable to eat well, and sometimes they are just worried over little things, and so parents sometimes pick these things up. They can be sad. Children, we all get a bit sad sometimes, but then if a child is sad for weeks and weeks on end, these are cues that people should take and realize that these children are not coping. If a child, let's say, and for some children, they've gone to new schools, so they've lost their friends. They haven't made new friends. And then the lockdown came and things have changed. So parents should be asking their children, how are you coping? How are your friendships like? These little things affect the mental health of children. And so when we discuss the ways to achieve a good mental health, it's being able to talk about our feelings. Children find it very hard to talk about how they feel because sometimes they don't understand exactly what is going on. So if someone gives you the opportunity and say, how do you feel? Just explain, I feel a bit sad, or I can't do this, so that they would be able, you can get the help that you need. Are you able to cope? Are you able to cope with maybe the homework? Are you able to cope with your friends maybe not being around? So as you talk about these things, it helps. Children should also engage in activities that they love. And so if there's something you love doing, maybe you love reading, or you love drawing, or you love doing small videos like we are doing today on Vicky's World. Yes, that is also a good way of achieving a good mental health. So being mindful, it's a big thing that we talk about, but it's just about you being present. When you have something that you're doing, don't get too distracted. Enjoy your moments. If you have time with your siblings and you are playing, enjoy that time. And don't be too worried about, if I went out with my friends. You don't have that, but you have something. So whatever you have, enjoy it, and then be very mindful about it. So these are some of the things you talk, you do activities, and sometimes exercising, just jumping around, having fun, playing, all that is very good for us to achieve a good mental health. And so for children, it's important for us to understand that we can be affected by all the stuff that is going on. It is very possible for us to be affected. We are not exempt as children. We may not have a mental ill health, but we can be affected by what is going on. And so we talk about it. Sometimes some children don't talk to their parents, but they talk to their older siblings. So if you have an older sibling that you love, talk to them. Share what you're going through with them. Engage yourself in some activities, have fun, and then be mindful of the things that you have. Learn to have an attitude of gratitude. A lot of children are, I want. And even when they get, they don't even take time to appreciate what they have. So I want this, I want that, I want that. All they do is get stuff, but then looking at what you have and saying that, oh, thank you for this, I'm grateful for this, I love this, So let's put all these things into practice to achieve a good mental health.
Hip, 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 hooray!
Your perfect love is casting out fear. And even when I call,
Oh, wow. Now, Doctor, that speech literally touched my heart. I just remembered to cherish everything we have so we can make the most of it and enjoy it. And literally, now I come to think about that, most people must have done it in lockdown and actually made them very happy. That's very
Thank you so much, Dr. Pat, for talking us through mental health. So to everyone that's watching this right now, there may be people struggling around the world. So even when you may be down, always try to give a smile. And don't be ashamed to tell your story because it may inspire others. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. So cheer up, all is not lost. Keep hope alive and live.
Thank you for watching. We love you. God bless you. See you soon. Bye.
choose troubles, but until then.